Hi, this is June Stanley. This is my EDL 853 Module 1. I started teaching at 40, and before that I trained horses. So for 20 years I taught math and science in public schools, and for the last 2 years I've taught in a California state prison. I live in a small rural town, Northern California, and there's lots of lakes and streams and mountains, so I like to hike and camp and ride horses. Earl Warren Adult School is in the California Correctional Center, so my students are all adult men, and my first year there I taught GED class, and now I run the voluntary education program, so the men can come in and get additional teaching if they like. I also coordinate the Lassen Community College programs, and my students can take college courses, they can get an associate's degree, and there's also college instructors that actually come out to the institution to teach. CCC is a camp institution. That means our lower security level inmates go out and fight on the California fires, and I also have students out at those camps that we do correspondence education. So critical reflection. Earl Warren Adult School has a lot of good curriculum for all different kind of students. But we don't really focus on special education, not nearly as much as we should. So every inmate that comes into the institution has their reading level tested. And then once they get into education, there's further testing to determine where they should be placed. So students are placed initially at reading level, and then they're tested further, and then each teacher has a selection of materials to use. And we have good curriculum, and then within each set of curricular materials, there's different levels that each teacher can use. And then there's also supplementary materials. But there is no special education teacher or department to guide us. And to me, that's critical. And so for my own use, I have knowledge of my students based on my observations and the information that they give me. In my public school teaching, I worked quite a bit with special ed teachers, and I learned a tremendous amount from them. And I just really valued their input. But no matter how much I may think I know, I am not a special education teacher, and I don't have their training or experience or their knowledge. And so I feel really limited in what I can do. So I do use all levels of our approved curriculum, and the input from students, since they're adults, they really know quite a lot about helping each other. I go online for supplementary materials, and I have 20 computers in my room that has some good learning software on it. And I've been told by students that know they have a disability that the computers help them quite a bit. So our administrators really are committed to continuous school improvement and to improving student achievement. But special ed needs are not really part of our school improvement plan, and it really should be. So if I were administrator, what I would like to do is create a position for and recruit a special education teacher. And I would integrate SPED trainings into our monthly day-long staff meetings, and also into our monthly PLCs. I would also like to create a schedule for the SPED teacher to work with teachers in the classroom, observe what they do, observe their students, and give suggestions for what the teachers can do to help those students. And this teacher would also research classroom learning materials, and I would submit those materials for approval to our Office of Correctional Education. And then upon approval, purchase those materials and provide training for our teachers if necessary in their use. The new position would have to be funded, and this is expensive, funding a new teacher. As for the rest of it, there's existing funding that I think would cover new materials and any additional training for the teachers and instructional time. I think all that could be rolled into what we already have, but getting a new position funding might take quite a bit of work. That would have to go through our Office of Correctional Education in the state capital, Sacramento. But I believe it would be doable, and it would certainly be something that would benefit our students greatly. Thank you for listening.